and welcome to Geekatplay Studio tutorials. In this tutorials, I want to look on different ways we can create a density in atmosphere by working with a VU 2014. Many of these techniques will easily apply to early versions, with a small exception when we start using photometric atmosphere, because that is a new atmosphere was introduced inside the VU 2014. So right here, you'll notice I pre-created scenery. It's very simple, just flat gray with some cons going in the distance. And if we're going to render this scenery, so let's go ahead and set up. And we'll just go render very fast. So you can see it's very straightforward, simple, look flat, almost like it can be on the same line. If we put it them, you don't see it distance. When we render, the depth is very important to us because with the depth we can simulate 3D view and 2D view. So the couple ways we can simulate this. One, by reducing details on the background and foreground objects. And currently it's very hard to do because there are almost no details here. Next, we can desaturate objects by the color, but in many cases, and you'll see when we start applying these desaturations, it does look a little bit. We have it very slightly coloring going, and mostly this color come from atmospheres because object is flat gray. And next, we can actually, by creating a shift in the colors to the haze type of the color, blending, so that will produce a little bit more effect. So let's see from all of this what we can do. To creating distance change, we will create very good effect with the details, so it will be scaled down resemblance. But to creating distance, we need to go inside the atmosphere editor. And for now, let's just switch to the standard spectral. That is what we used before. And I want just have it automatic adjustments. So right here we have it in the sky, fog, and haze. This is an important area for us to set up properly density with just atmosphere adjustments. So you notice we have a ground haze density, and ground haze is overall in atmosphere pollution, the small particles. We have the mean where we can set it is middle of the density. It's not middle of the layer, just middle of the density of this. And we also have it ground fog and density. In some cases, this is too similar how they will work, except one will work on a global scale and another will work on the smaller scale. However, by simulation and calculation, the light, how dispersed the light, the haze will act as particles like dust and other particles inside the air, and fog will act more with illumination because it's more act as a water particles. So just to see the different. We also have a decay, which is color shifting, and we also have it right here, aerial perspective, which is add additional haze based on a simulation of aerial perspective for this area. With a glow intensity and scattering anisotropy, we can affect how particles from the sun, how far they will glow and how much light will distribute to them. Okay, this is very short overview. Let's change and see what's happening. So right here we have our scenery. The first things probably what you want to do is work with the fog density. On this case, you will affect lower level of atmospheres and leave it cloud and sky a little bit cleaner. So if you want to access this, and you notice right here, I increasing, we already have this effect applied. This is density 100%. You can always, even a slider going to just 100, you can click in and type more. The slider allowed you to operate in a safe area. So when you type with hand, the effect may be a little bit more unpredicted than as designed. So in this case, it just kind of let you know you're going over the safe limits. The next, we have a fog altitude, and you notice right now it's at 325 meters. And if we select our top camera as a reference, you notice right here it's a 50 meters. So this is not even closer to Okay, so we can take a camera and put it on the, just to, as example, let's 325. Okay, actually. Okay, camera, and you can see this is a height where the mean of the fog. So if we need to decrease it, this is a little bit maybe too high for what we try to do. So you can always just go inside and, for example, set to 25. So it will be closer to the bottom. Again, let's render. And you can see right here we start losing details. Again, if you reduce of the fog high, you want probably to increase kind of more density. Okay, let's go. Just click actual size, and you can preview with the fog when we start setup. So it is already created some dimensions, but maybe not as strong as we wanted. So let's go back. We'll set to the 100, just increase slightly up. The other effect we also, as I said before, can work with the increased haze density. So let's increase, and you notice we do have some effect apply globally, included sky, because it's kind of dust particles. We don't have a very strong effect because this cones actually does not like it too far apart. And we can, if you need to compare, we can bring them in, and you can see right here is about 100 meters. So from the camera to last cone is only about 100 meters. It's not very far. And if you want to apply density to them, we need to have a very strong fog or change some in the lightings. So let's do this way. We'll just try to adjust density on the short effect and see what options and properties we're going to use. The one thing, of course, the change the fog. Next, we can also reduce a little bit so we have a clear sky and increase the haze. And one more thing is what I told you before, it's aerial perspective. So let's see right now. This is with 1. If I increase to the 10, you'll notice it will increase more. But again, the same things you can always type in if you needed higher value. So for example, right here, I put it 100 and see how those start disappearing. So now they look, even on 100 meters, we have a quite a bit effect applied. So we created density with a aerial perspective. Again, this is one with a clear. We was increasing fog, increase fog density, and right here we add a little bit of the haze, but we have fog and aerial perspective, and look those ends. Now they look a little bit more far away, even it's only 100 meters away. So when you create a fog inside forest and you want to create those kind of small whispering fog on the bottom of the trees, you can just go ahead and modify some of the settings, take fog down. This is, we can reduce, even add a little bit more clear look on the skies, maybe a bit more yellowish just right on the end, or colder view. But again, with the increasing aerial perspective, just type in, we did this. Of course, we can pop up even more. And one thing why I add a little bit more of the decay, because you notice it's add a colder look. To have the same color balance, we can just increase a little bit more on the decay, so it will balance back slightly. Okay, let's preview. Okay, and right here we'll clear sky, but we still have nice ground kind of fog going with the density on the atmosphere. Okay, this we done with a standard spectral. The other ways is to do, it's easier if you use it volumetric atmosphere model, and let's do this in the next tutorial.